Greetings, everybody. Once again, welcome into Hobart-Detter Field. It's time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. This afternoon, the conclusion of a four-game series featuring the Blue Dragons of Hutchinson and the Sterling College Warrior Junior Varsity team from Sterling, Kansas. Steve Carpenter with you on another overcast day, but very comfortable. The wind, not nearly the issue it was 24 hours ago. Still blowing out to left field out of the northeast, but around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So the wind won't have near the effect it did yesterday. And it wasn't so much effect on home run balls as an effect on popped-ups in the infield. There were several balls that started out in foul territory, wound up fair, and it made life miserable for infielders for both teams. Yesterday, the Blue Dragons won the first two in this four-game series, winning the first game 12-2 in 5 innings. Will Reitz had a 3-run home run in that one, and Mike Brown went the distance in 5 innings to get his third win of the year. Then in the second game, it was a 5-run fourth inning for the Blue Dragons, started by a solo home run by Zach Baxley, and then Mason Lowe added a big 2-run single. Dragons went on to win 7-0, and it was a combined one-hit shutout. Brian Skillman went the first 4 and got the win. He struck out 8. Zach Philbin went 1. He struck out 2. And then Brandon Rushing allowed the only hit of the game. He struck out 1, but he quickly erased that one hit with an inning-ending double play. This afternoon, the Blue Dragons will run out Jake Buns and Miguel Reyes to the mound in the final 2 games of this series. And I'm going to believe we're going to start early. So right now, let's get to the lineups. First for the Sterling Warriors, Alanis Alicea leads it off for Sterling, and he plays shortstop. Batting second and playing second is Damian Webster. Batting third, the right fielder, Daniel Medina. Kyle Schulte bats in the cleanup spot and plays first base. Ken Mojica bats fifth and plays center field for the Warriors. J.D. Valle is in the sixth slot, and he plays third. The catcher, Luis Rodriguez, bats seventh for the Warriors. Ian Ortega bats eighth. He's the designated hitter. And Jeff Jamarillo bats ninth and plays left field. Right-hander Andrew Mason gets the start on the mound for Sterling in the first game this afternoon. So for the Warriors, it's Alicea, Webster, Medina, Schulte, Mojica, Valle, Rodriguez, Ortega, Jamarillo, and Andrew Mason on the bump. For the 22-13 Blue Dragons, coached by seventh-year head coach Ryan Schmidt, they'll line up this way. Jeremiah Caesar will lead it off and play center field. And batting second will be the second baseman, sophomore Logan Sartori. The reigning National Player of the Week, Zane Schmidt, bats third, and he is at first base in Game 3 of this series. Zach Baxley will get his second start behind the plate. He bats cleanup for Hutchinson. Ryan Moritz on a really good roll with the bat. He bats fifth and plays third base. Batting sixth will be the designated hitter, Max McGuire. Batting seventh, getting his second start of the series, and playing right field is Connor Craig. Mason Lowe gets his third start of the series. He'll be at shortstop. He bats eighth. And Ethan White bats ninth and plays left field, getting his third start of the series. Jake Buns, a record of 5-1 and a solid 4.41 ERA, takes the bump. He's won his last 2 starts. So the Blue Dragons line up Caesar, Sartori, Schmidt, and Baxley, Moritz, McGuire, Craig, Lowe, and White, and lefty Jake Buns on the mound. Dragons being announced, and we get set for the national anthem. Again, the Dragons on their bye week this week. We'll get into all the conference matchups throughout the afternoon. Both of these games scheduled for 7, and we'll have every pitch for you here on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. We're going to take a break, have the national anthem, return for this afternoon's opening pitch. It's the Warriors and the Blue Dragons live from Hobart-Detter Field. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Our national anthem from Hobart-Detter Field. Steve Carpenter with you. Another comfortable but overcast day here at Hobart-Detter Field. The Dragons completing a 5-game and 3-day homestand. They will be off this weekend. They will be at Edmond, Oklahoma to take on Seminole State on Tuesday in a neutral site game, then return to conference action. The games, first 2 games of the Pratt Series will be at Stanton Field on Thursday and then return here a week from Saturday for the final 2 games against the Beavers. Dragons have 4 conference series remaining. Jake Buns, who has won his last 2 decisions on the mound for Hutchinson. He has a team-high 5 wins, a 5-1 overall record, 4.41 ERA. 11th start, or 9th start, 6th start, 9th appearance overall for Jake, my apologies. 34 2/3 innings pitched, 30 hits, 23 runs, 17 of those earned. He has struck out 53 and walked 15, so a better than 3-1 strikeout to walk. Opponent's hitting .234. He has allowed a couple of home runs and 13 doubles. But last time out against Garden City, Jake Buns was nails in a 3-1 Hutchinson victory. When we get set to go, we are going to start just about 4 minutes early. Alanis Alisea will lead it off for the Warriors. Alisea yesterday was 1 for 6. Jake Buns' first delivery is popped up toward the dugout and it's going to land out of play. First pitch coming at 2:56 p.m. Again, welcome to the Blue Dragon Sports Network for Blue Dragon Baseball. The lefty winds and fires, misses high for ball 1-1. Sterling yesterday, 5 combined hits in the first 2 games of that series. Swung on a high fastball, and Alisea is even in the count now, 1-2, excuse me. Buns ahead in the count. 1-2 pitch, got him swinging. First strikeout for Buns. Sterling batters in 2 games yesterday struck out 18 times in 39 at-bats. Pitching wasn't the trouble. Mike Browns didn't have a sharp outing, but the combination of Brian Skillman, Zach Philbin, and Brandon Rushing were dominant. 1 hopper to short off the bat of Webster. Mason Lowe throws across, and very quickly 2 away. Five pitches, 2 outs. Now the right fielder, Daniel Medina. Medina hitless in 6 at-bats yesterday with 3 strikeouts, but he was impressive in the outfield, especially in left, making several long runs to chase down balls for outs. Buns misses low one in for ball 1. A week ago today actually, 2-0 now to Medina. 7 innings pitched for Jake. That's a season high. 2-0 pitch, fastball, and Medina went after it. Swings and misses, and it's 2-1. 7 innings pitched for Buns. He allowed just 3 hits, 1 unearned run, struck out 7, and walked 2 in a 3-1 Hutch victory. 3-1 now to Medina. Again, Buns has won his last 2 decisions. He won a 12-3 win against Dodge City at Dodge on March 21st. Grounded to third. Up with it is Ryan Moritz on the way over, and he gets him, and it's a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Jake Buns in the top of the first. Nothing for the Warriors in the top. Dragons coming up at the bottom. No score. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you. Jake Buns works a nice, easy 9-pitch, 1-2-3 first. And now it is Jeremiah Caesar, Logan Sartori, and Zane Schmidt due up here in the bottom of the first. Again, the Dragons won 12-2, 7-0 yesterday. Ryan Schmidt not at all happy with the overall effort. Really kind of thought the Dragons, in many respects, played down a level of competition. And this is the JV team the Blue Dragons are facing. First and only JV team that Hutchinson will face in 2019. It used to be much more prevalent for the Blue Dragons to play JV teams, but Ryan Schmidt just made the effort to upgrade the schedule, play a lot more Division I and Division II NJCAA teams. And that movement has paid off. Warriors were picked up because the Blue Dragons, when they normally play their bye week, would play Longview out of the Metro Community System in Kansas City. But Longview College dropped its baseball program. Dragons couldn't find anybody to come in for this weekend. And had to bring in the Sterling JV. Games were more competitive than what you thought yesterday. 12-2 and 5 and 7-0. Offensively, the Warriors were a little bit overpowered, but defensively and pitching-wise, they hung in there. So here's Jeremiah Caesar. Hit his first triple of the season yesterday. Hitting .264 for the year with 14 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, 7 RBIs, and 13 runs scored. Jeremiah starting his 15th game, hitting from the left side. Lefty-lefty match the pitch, and it bounces in for ball 1. We saw Jeremiah's speed yesterday on display with the triple, but in his next at-bat when he had an infield single, he really showed. There's a bunt right back to the pitcher, fielded by Mason. He spins and throws. High throw. I think Jeremiah would have beat it out. That'll be an infield hit. Don't think they would have gotten him, so it's a bunt single for Caesar. And that's how yesterday's at-bat started. Not so much, but it was a swinging single up the middle. The second baseman, Damian Webster, got to it, but by the time he spun and threw, Caesar was already past the bag. First pitch to Logan Sartori is taken a little bit low. Sartori hitting .309 for the year. 38 hits, 6 home runs, 34 driven in. Caesar had a stolen base yesterday. He's going. Pitcher steps off, and now a wide throw allows him to get in. That's going to be a stolen base. You can't assume the out, so that'll be a stolen base for Caesar. He went. Mason stepped off, and they still couldn't get him. Good throw probably would have gotten him. Here's the pitch. And that one glances off the glove of the catcher. Big turn, and now Caesar slips. And it returns. That'll be a pass ball on the catcher, Luis Rodriguez, who had a solid day yesterday. But in 2 pitches, Caesar's now over at third. That's the speed that we talked about. 4 steals now for Jeremiah Caesar. 2-0 the count to Sartori with an early RBI opportunity. 3-0. Logan battling a little bit of a slump, 3 for his last 18. Saw his average drop 21 points from 330 on March 22nd down to its current 309. 4-pitch walk. And runners on the corners and nobody out to start. Logan Sartori currently 23rd on the all-time hits list with 116. Now first baseman Zane Schmidt. The conference leader in home runs, tied for second in home runs with 13. Schmidt hitting .387, a team high, 13 home runs, 39 RBIs. Yesterday, 2 for 4, a couple of doubles. Sartori goes on the pitch to throw. He's in safe. Coming down the line and scoring easily is Caesar. The throw gets away, and that's going to allow Sartori to go up to third. So that will be a throwing error on the second baseman. So a double steal and a throwing error, and the Dragons have a 1-0 lead. So 0-1 on Schmidt, hitting from the left side, another lefty-lefty matchup. Schmidt hitting very good off left-handers this year. Does a really nice job of keeping that front shoulder in against the lefties. 1-1 count now. Schmidt against left-handed pitching this year, hitting .348. .396 hitter against right-handed. That pitch is in the dirt. Rodriguez scrambles. Now it's 2-1. Schmidt's second in the league at 39 RBIs, first in total bases with 103, third in hits with 48, third in runs with 41. 7-game hitting streak, 11-4-22. Ground ball, hard hit. Good stop by the first baseman Schultra. Throw to the bag is barely in time with the pitcher Mason covering. Coming down the line to score is Logan Sartori, and it's 2-0 the Blue Dragons as Schmidt drives in his 40th run of the year. Right now, oh, going to have to get into this story. You may have heard it over the crowd mic. The dugout yelling, I'm so excited. Bax's new walk-up. He takes high for a ball. Let me get this into the computer properly. The pitch. Strike at the belt, 1-1. Zach Baxley has got his average back up to .298, 3 home runs, 19 driven in. He's 11 for his last 24. Takes a big cut there and misses. He's hit safely in 6 of 7. He's down in the count here, 1-2. Base is empty, now 1 away. Dragons have 2 across in the inning. Much better execution so far. High chopper left side, fielded by Alanis Alicea. Sets and throws, low throw. And Kyle Schulte digs it out for out number 2. So we'll wait for the Baxley walk-up story for his next AB. Here's Ryan Moritz. Ryan Moritz has got his average up to .311. No home runs, 13 RBIs, 9 doubles, and a triple. And he has been on quite a tear over his last 18 games. Bases empty, 2 away, 2-0 Hutch. There's a strike. On March 7th, Ryan Moritz was hitting a scant .167. Over his last 18 games, he's 25 for his last 58 and rates his batting average 144 points to its current .311. Now 2-0 to Moritz, or excuse me, 1-1 to Moritz. The pitch. A strike called, and it's 1-2. So far in the series, Ryan Moritz, 3 for 6. He had a 3-hit game in game number 1, went 0 for 3 in game number 2. So scored a run. Lays off that low pitch, and it's now 2-2 to Moritz, the sophomore from Omaha. Two runs on 1 hit for the Dragons in the inning. They must have stolen a couple of bases using their speed. The pitch. Upstairs, and now it's a full count to Moritz. If he gets on, it'll be Max McGuire. Here's the payoff. Swung on and missed, and the inning is over. But the Dragons get a couple on 1 hit, including a walk. There was an error, and nobody left on. After 1, it's Hutchinson 2, Sterling nothing. Dragons played a pair in the bottom of the first. Now it's up to the top of the second. Jake Bunn's back on. A nice, easy 1-2-3 with a strikeout and a pair of ground outs to the left side. Kyle Schulte, the first baseman, steps in. Schulte yesterday was 0 for 3. Walked twice, was hit by a pitch, and struck out once. Strike called. Pitch a little bit up, and it's 1-1. Jay Sanderson behind the dish again today. We've had him the last couple days. Jay, one of the better umpires in the Jayhawk. Hard hit ball, and that's through in the left field for Sterling's first hit of the afternoon. Schulte with his first hit of the series. Now here's the center fielder, Ken Mojica. Mojica 0 for 3. Walked once, was hit by a pitch in the first two games of the series. No full numbers on the Sterling players. First pitch swings popped up over the press box, nothing in one. Sterling was no hit in game 2 yesterday till 1 out into the 6th inning. The pitch. Strike in or half, and it's 0-2. The lone hit came from Alanis Alicea. He was quickly wiped out on a 6-3 double play. Pop foul out of play. It remains 0-2. Jake Buns has struck out 9 3 different times this year. That's a season high for him. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3, outside corner. That's strikeout number 2. That'll bring up the third baseman, J.D. Valle. 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts and a walk yesterday. First pitch swing popped up in the left field toward the line into foul territory. Long run for Ethan White, and he chases it down for out number 2. Nice job. Good long run. Ethan wearing number 38 today. Normally number 3. So it's been 18 pitches and 5 outs, and now it's the catcher Luis Rodriguez hitting in the 6th slot. Rodriguez yesterday was 1 for 2. He walked twice. He goes first pitch, hacking and lifts one to left, playable for White. In a few steps, he's got it. And Jake Buns has retired the first 6 batters he's faced with a grand total of 19 pitches. No runs, a hit, 1 left after an inning and a half. Dragons 2 and the Warriors nothing. Two nothing Hutch. Again, Hutchin, it's bye week for conference play. We'll go through the league schedule this half inning. Max McGuire, Connor Craig, and Mason Lowe. 6, 7, 8 here in The bottom of the second for Hutch against Andrew Mason. Gave up 2 runs on 1 hit. Here's McGuire. Max hitting .262 for the year. 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. Pitch taken a little bit in, ball 1. 6 for his last 13 over his last 5 games is McGuire. Max only played 1 game yesterday, was 0 for 2. Big cut and a miss there, and it's even at 1-1. That 0 for 2 yesterday snapped a 4-game hit streak for Max. The pitch. Striking, it's 2-1, or excuse me, a little bit low, and it's 2-1. McGuire, the leadoff man here in the second. That pitch misses from Mason, and it's 3-1. Around the league today, most of the action already underway with the exception of 1 series. Colby is at Barton in a huge series. If you're a Blue Dragon fan, you'd love to see those 2 teams split a pair. 3-1 pitch, hard hit ball left side. Backhanded stop by Alicea. Sets and throws. Nice dig by Schulte. And McGuire's retired for the first out of the second. Defensively, this JV team, not too bad at all. Alicea has gone into the hole several times to make backhanded stops. They committed 4 errors in the series, but they've made a ton of big plays to really keep the games closer than what they might have been. Here's Connor Craig. Connor 1 out of 2 yesterday with the double and 1 start. First pitch swing and hits one toward the corner. On the run is Jamarillo, now in the foul territory. He makes the catch just before the fence. Another fine defensive play. And it's 2 up and 2 down here in the Dragons' second. Outfield-wise, the Sterling team is as good as we've seen. Now Mason Lowe. Mason snapped an 0 for 18 yesterday with a 2-run single to help break that second game open. He hit the ball well all afternoon. Craig now hitting .143, 3 for 21. 1 walk, 3 runs scored. He hits that one to right field the opposite way. That's down for a hit. Mason's going to think about it too, but put the brakes on as Daniel Medina runs over to get it. Nice piece of opposite field hitting for Lowe, who's starting to feel it with the bat. Lowe making his 4th consecutive start. Now Ethan White, the left fielder. Move over to first by the left-hander. Back in safely is Mason Lowe. Ethan White yesterday in his first 2 career starts with the Blue Dragons, 2 for 6. He had a double, an RBI, and a run scored. He goes the other way, but slices it foul. Ethan now hitting .333, 3 for 9, a double and 2 driven in, 3 runs scored. Mason comes set, runner goes, and Mason Lowe was still second without a throw. Pitch was a ball. 4th stolen base of the game already for Hutchinson. Lowe stealing his 2nd of the year. Now Mason steps off. 2-out RBI opportunity for Ethan White. And it's just his 10th at bat of this season. 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch misses low, and it's 2-1. Colby's at Barton, Butler at Cloud, Pratt at Garden City. All 3 of those series underway. Seward County and Dodge will get underway at 3 o'clock or at 4 o'clock. 2-1 pitch. Strike enter half, and now it's 2-2 to White. We'll try to keep you up to date. In fact, the first final is in. Garden City defeats Pratt 3-2 in their first game on a walk-off single by Dakota Finley. Dragons had a hard time with Finley all weekend. 2-2 pitch. Misses outside a full count. So Garden wins the first game 3-2 in that one. Garden City improves to 5-8 in league play. Pratt 4-13. And that's a 2-out walk to White. So 2 on, 2 out, and it's back to the top of the order in the speedy Jeremiah Caesar. His last 2 at bats, 2 infield hits, 1 a bunt single earlier today, 2 stolen bases. Then yesterday he moved up to third on a wild pitch that maybe bounced 2 feet from the plate. And scored on a ground out by Zach Baxley. 2 on, 2 out here in the second. Pitch taken low for ball 1. Sky's getting lighter here. That front's moving away. We didn't get the rain we expected in Hutchinson. It was dry when I woke up this morning. The field was tarped last night. Much to the players' dismay yesterday. The pitch out in front of a breaking pitch, and that gets through the catcher. That'll be a second pass ball charge to Luis Rodriguez. Low to third, White to second on the pass ball. Now it's 2 in scoring position for Caesar. Caesar has hit safely in 4 of his last 5, 6 of his last 8. The only multi-hit game was yesterday. Now 2-1 to Caesar. Slightly open stats, hitting from the left side against the left-handed Andrew Mason. The pitch. He takes a shot down the left field line, but it just goes foul. Good idea there. Barton leads the league right now with 11-5. Hutch and Butler tied for second at 10-6. Of course, the Dragons won't pick up any league wins this weekend. Cloud fourth at 7-5. Colby at 6-6. Seward at 8-8. Garden now at 5-8. Dodge at 4-8. Pratt at 4-13. Caesar lays off a breaking pitch, slowing away. Now he runs the count full. So a bad one would load him up for Logan Sartori. Mason comes set. Payout pitch. Popped up, left side. Long run, but it's going to land out of play. So Garden beats Pratt in the first game. Butler leads Cloud, top of the 4th. First game of that series up at Zane Field in Concordia. Check swing roller. That thing went right in on his hands, and Jeremiah couldn't believe he couldn't get out of the way, and he fouls it off. Barton walks off against Colby. They don't give a final score, but Barton walks off and gets a big win. Ground ball right to the second baseman, Damian Webster. Quick throw over, and the Dragons are done in the second. We'll keep you updated on the league throughout the afternoon. The Dragons get no runs, 1 hit and 2 left, and after 2, it's Hutchinson 2 and Sterling nothing. Ryan Schmidt goes to the bullpen and brings Matt Hopkins out. Takes over for Jake Buns. He goes 2 scoreless, allows just 1 hit with a pair of strikeouts. Hopkins, a 5'8", 170-pound sophomore right-hander from Kingfisher, Oklahoma, quite possibly coming off his best outing as a Blue Dragon on Sunday at Garden City. He's got 8-9-1 here in the Sterling third. And it's ball 1 to Ian Ortega. Ortega yesterday didn't hit. High chopper up the middle over the mound, fielded by Lowe. He bobbles it. That'll be an infield single. That was going to be a tough play for Lowe. That bouncing ball just jumped over Matt Hopkins. And it was a long charge for the shortstop, Lowe. Now pitch high to Jeff Jamarillo. Jamarillo yesterday 0 for 3. Did drive in a run with the ground out and struck out twice. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. For the season, Matt Hopkins making his 9th appearance overall, 0-1 with 1 save. A scant 0.61 ERA. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. 14 2/3 innings pitched for Matt, 11 hits, 14 runs. Only 1 earned out of those 14 runs. 25 strikeouts and 7 walks. And opponents hitting 200 against. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Jamarillo goes down. 1 away. And it's Alanis Alicea, the leadoff hitter, stepping in 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Matt got his first save of the season with a 3-inning performance that was just out of this world for Hutch in Hutchinson's 9-8 win over Garden City. An error with he came into the game with runners at first and second and nobody out. That pitch is lifted right side, foul territory. Zane Schmidt near the fence and is out of play. There was an error involved, allowed 2 runs to score. That was no fault of Matt Hopkins whatsoever. But he went on to strike out a career-high 8 in 3 innings. No hits, no runs. He did walk a pair in 1 wild pitch. But he got the save. And those 2 runs that scored didn't get charged to him, but also weren't his fault. Strike on the outside corner to Alicea, and it's 1-2. Matt comes set and delivers. Just misses the outside corner. Baxley tried to frame it. Couldn't get the call. Now it's 2-2. The pitch. Called strike 3. Nice slider. 2 away now as Ortega goes down for the second time on strikes. Now Damian Webster, the batter. He grounded out to short his first time. Matt, really a 2-pitch pitcher, fast pitch slider. Sometimes he will fall in love with that slider to his own detriment. But again, he's starting to use that fastball to set the slider up a lot more. Hard hit ball, and that's into center field for a hit. Ortega will stop at second as Jeremiah Caesar quickly gets it back in. Pitch was up in the zone, and Matt, when he's up there, can get hit very easily. So Webster gets his second hit of the series. First and second, 2 away for right fielder Daniel Medina. He grounded to third baseman Ryan Moore. It's his first time up to end the first. 2 on and 2 out here in the third. 2-0 Hutch. The pitch. Over at low, ball 1. Ground ball right side. Second baseman Logan Sartori to his left makes the throw, and the inning is over. Good play by Sartori to his left. Sterling gets a couple of hits, but nothing else off Hopkins. He strikes out 2, and the Warriors lead 2 after 2.5. Dragons 2 and the Warriors nothing. Logan Sartori, Zane Schmidt, Zach Baxley, 2-3-4 due up here in the third. Ryan Schmidt would really like this offense to kind of take off. Now being out hit by Sterling 3-2. Sartori walked his and scored his first time. Also stole his 21st base of the year. In a 3-for-18 slump is Sartori. He rolls over the top of that one and pulls it foul. Andrew Mason, 42 pitches now. He's allowed 2 earned runs and 2 hits. Or check that, 1 earned run and 2 hits. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the delivery. High and outside, 1-1. Sartori against left-handed pitching this year. Struggling, just 4-for-18, 324 against righties. That goes against the book. The pitch. Blowing in, 2-1 to Logan. Sartori had a stretch of 4 straight games with 2 hits in them with 6 RBIs. And a couple of home runs, a triple and a double over that stretch. Those games are against Dodge, Cali, and Garden City. Since Game 2 against Garden, Logan's really struggled minorly, 3 for his last 18. Now 3-1 to Sartori. Leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the third. High ball 4. Back there, that's the second straight walk to Sartori. Logan currently 23rd on the all-time hits list with 116 hits, tied with Ryan Mayfield and Andy Dirks, a couple of players from the 2010 World Series team. He's tied for 8th in career doubles with 31 and tied for 23rd with 15 home runs, 20th with 90 RBIs. Schmidt, first pitch swinging, pops one up into foul territory. It's the third baseman, J.D. Valle, making the catch. And again, the Dragons showing very little patience, which has been sometimes a not-so-good trait of this ball team. As a team, Hutch hitting .303 coming in. That's 8th best in the league. Zach Baxley, the batter now, 0 for 1, a ground out to short. Down low for a ball. The Dragons are second in the conference in runs scored, second in hits, third in doubles, tied for third in triples, tied for the league with Colby with 42 home runs. 8th in stolen bases with now 56. But here is the stat of the day. I had texted this to Denny Steckline earlier. Runner does not go, and Baxley takes high. At this point in the season, this coming into the game, the Blue Dragons have struck out a grand total of 309 times. That is already 8th most in Blue Dragon history. Runner goes on the 2-0. Pitches in the dirt. Sartori will take a look. Second stolen base of the day for Sartori. Fifth for the team. Sartori's 22nd of the season. That also gives Logan Sartori now 37 career steals in 45 attempts. 3-0 now to Baxley. And the cripple's in for a strike, 3-1. 51 pitches now for Mason. The Dragons kind of been their own worst enemy this year. They put up some huge numbers. Sartori goes headed for third. The pitch is low. It's a walk to Baxley. And it's another stolen base for Sartori. And that'll bring a visit to the mound. JV coach Tyler Helms will chat it up, talk strategies. Sartori had a huge jump on Mason. Wasn't a chance for Rodriguez to throw him out. Ryan Moritz will be the batter. He struck out his first time. The Dragons now with 3 stolen bases from Sartori, 2 from Jeremiah Caesar, 1 from Mason Lowe. That already ties a season high for a game. The Dragons had 6 stolen bases on February 17th against Northeast Texas. And I suspect that season high will be eclipsed before too long. Now Moritz. Move over to first. Max was thinking about it. But he scampers back. Being held on by first base Kyle Schulte. Just 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. Dragons looking to ignite the offense. The pitch. Mo waited as long as he could before he pulled the trigger, but he still misses, and he's down in the count 0-1. Ryan Moritz just really susceptible to high pitches. Decent lead over at first by Baxley. Not going. Pitch is taken low, and it's 1-1. We talked about Moritz's turnaround. He's raised his average 144 points over the last 18 games. Now they try to run the pickle play. Baxley between first and second. And is he tagged out? Yes, he is. No movement at third by Sartori. So I think a busted sign there. And, yep, that's Jamel Cervantes is throwing his hands up at Baxley, asking him what the heck. So Baxley caught stealing, 1-6. Now it's a runner at third, 2 away from Moritz. Slider in the dirt. And it's 2-1. Mo 25 for his last 58 coming into this one. Takes a shot to left, and it's 2-2. And that's where he's been having a lot of success, going to left center instead of trying to pull off everything. Outfield straight away at all 3 positions, somewhat shallow and left. High fastball, and Mo swings through it, and a very promising start to the inning becomes a very silent one. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 1 caught stealing, and 1 left. We go to the fourth, 2-0 Blue Dragons. Matt Hopkins back out for his second inning of work. He took over for Jake Buns, who allowed just one hit and struck out two over the first two innings. Hopkins gave up a couple of hits but struck out a pair. And now he's got the middle third of the order here in the Sterling fourth. Kyle Schulte, Ken Mojica, and J.D. Valle. 2-0 Hutch. Sterling's out hit the Blue Dragons 3-2. Dragons just unable to get the offense cranked up this weekend. First pitch sweeping is Schulte, shallow center in Jeremiah Caesar, and he's got it one away. Schulte now 1 for 2. That'll bring up Ken Mojica, who struck out looking his first time, that coming against Jake Buns. Miguel Reyes will get the start in the final game of the series about 25 minutes after the completion of this one. Big slider from Matt Hopkins is swung on and missed. That slider misses high, and now the count even 1-1. Hopkins had an up and down freshman season. Pitch a little bit low, 2-1. Hopkins had back-to-back bad outings early in the year, but has steadily improved. A little pop in the infield on the run, and it drops in. It's going to be in for a hit. It was a little too far for Hopkins to go off the back of the mound, and with Sartorian low playing deep, it landed just on the cut of the grass in front of first base, and Mojica sit on safely with an infield single, the fourth hit of the game for Sterling. Not sure if it was great reaction by the Dragon defense either. Now here's Valle. Valle fouled out deep to left field. A long run for Ethan White, making the catch. Hopkins' pitch misses inside and a little bit high. Matt will get in trouble when he starts to nibble. Pitch popped up. It'll get back out of play as Zach Baxley gives a look. Matt was a late addition to the Hutch Monarchs roster for their late season run last year. That ended at the NBC World Series. 1-1 pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-1. Dragon pitching this year, currently number one in the Jayhawk in total strikeouts at 354. That number coming into this one. Seventh in team ERA at 4.46. The pitch pulled foul outside of third. The big equalizer to that is the fact that the Blue Dragons rank 14th in the league out of 19 teams in defense. .953 fielding percentage, and they've committed 52 errors coming into this one. And this is game number 36. So pitchers have had to throw a lot more pitches than may be necessary if the defense is more like last year's team. The ball lifted to center field, going back as Caesar still going back, now slowing down, making a catch a few steps short of the track. Mojica goes half the way and will return to first, and there's two away here in the Warrior fourth. Now Luis Rodriguez, the catcher, he flew out to the left his first time up. Rodriguez now just 1 for 3 in the series. He's caught every pitch. First game of the year for Hopkins. Struck out 4 in 2 innings against Coffeyville. Ground ball to short, right through the wickets of Mason Lowe. Heading for third is Mojica. The throw is in time. Jeremiah Caesar pegs him. Everybody's yelling too, but Caesar put a dart right onto the glove of Ryan Moritz, and Mojica is retired. So the error goes against Lowe, but does not hurt the Dragons. Halfway through, 2-0 Hutchinson. Two scoreless innings for Matt Hopkins after two scoreless innings for Jake Bunz. And now Max McGuire leads off this slumbering Blue Dragon offense here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 runs in the bottom of the first, basically created by speed. Ball 1 to McGuire, who grounded out his first time. Jeremiah Caesar had a bunt single. Stole second. Sartori walked. Double skill still allowed them to score. And then an RBI ground out by Zane Schmidt allowed Sartori to score. And that's the offense. Dragons only have 2 hits in the game, and out hit 4-2. 1-1 to McGuire. '60th pitch coming up for Mason, who's battled the Blue Dragons well. 1-1. Pitch a little bit upstairs. 2-1 to McGuire. Again, Max, 6 for his last 14. Average had dipped to 225 on March 22nd. Now it's up to 262. And he's ahead in the count here on Andrew Mason, 3 balls and 1 strike. Hardly any wind out there. 3-1 pitch, hard hit ball. Nice stop by Valle. He gets up, throws low. It's dug out, and Schulte gets his foot on the bag. Another defensive gem for the Warriors. Max hit it hard, but J.D. Valle equal to the task. Base is empty, 1 away for Connor Craig. He went first pitch hacking and fouled out deep to left. Good running catch by Jeff Jamarillo. The Dragons just 22 hits in this series. Showing bunt is Connor Craig, and he gets plunked with the pitch. That is the 3rd HBP of the series for Hutchinson. Now it's 1 on, 1 out for Mason Lowe. He'd like to make up for that error that he committed in the top half of this inning. Good speed at first in Craig. And now Lowe. Mason singled opposite way to right field his last time up. He's got hits in 2 of his last 3 at-bats after an 0 for 18. The pitch. He lines this one to left field. That's 3 hits in his last 4. Stopping at second is Craig. And Mason Lowe's bat has come to life in this series. 2 on, 2 out for left fielder Ethan White. Again, normally wearing number 3, wearing number 38 in this particular uniform set. These Reds, one of my favorites. Ethan walked his first time and was stranded at first. The pitch. Strike on the outside corner. Just when you think the Dragons are ready to time up Mason, he delivers a pitch like that. 65 pitches, only 30 for strikes. The 0-1 to White. Misses low, 1-1. White got his first career Blue Dragon hit on February 21st against Rose State in a pinch hit performance. Also had his first career RBI. His first start yesterday against Sterling went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a double. Second start, both of those starts were at second base, 1 for 3 in the second game with a run scored. The pitch. Bounces in. Runners try to move up, throw to third, not in time. A wild pitch charge to Andrew Mason. So now 2 in scoring position with 1 out. And another good scoring opportunity for Hutch. And this is the first wild pitch charged to Andrew Mason. Infield back for Sterling, and it's lifted to center field. Should be deep enough to score the run. Mojica makes the catch, tagging from third. And coming down the line to score is Connor Craig, and it's 3-0 Hutchinson. So Ethan White drives in his third of the year on the sacrifice fly. Now runner at second, 2 away, and Jeremiah Caesar will be the batter. Lowe made a bluff to third, then a force to throw to go to third. Caesar is 1 for 2. A bunt single, a couple of stolen bases, and a run scored in the first. And he grounded out to second. Caesar now in the series, 3 for 6. Pulls one foul. And nice play by Toby Corneo. And still showing up the old short-style arm. 2 hops to dugout. Toby and third base coach Jamel Cervantes, a part of the 2010 third place World Series team for the Blue Dragons. The pitch. Hard hit, ground ball right side and into right for a base hit. Lowe being sent around third. The throw comes into second. It's a 2-run fourth inning, and the Blue Dragons lead at 4-0. Second straight multi-hit game, third multi-hit game of the season for Caesar. Also drives in a run for the second straight game. RBI number 8, and the Dragons have doubled up their run production here in the fourth, now leading 4-0. See if we'll see the speed again of Jeremiah Caesar. And 2 stolen bases. Logan Sartori takes low for ball 1. Dragons have 6 stolen bases in the game. That ties the season high. Caesar was edging out, and then Mason threw over, back in safety with the head first dive. Was Caesar. Might be some action getting ready to start in the Sterling bullpen. A couple of players walking down that way. Runner does not go, pitches high, snap throw to first, and Caesar's back without a play. Sartori has walked twice. Again, Logan Sartori tied for 23rd in the all-time hits list with 116. His 31 doubles are tied for 8th in Blue Dragon history. The pitch. Pitch in the dirt, and that'll allow another wild pitch, and that allows Caesar to go up to third. So 2 wild pitches in the inning. And now with Mason's pitch count 1 short of 70, he might be struggling a little bit, losing his focus. 3-0 to Sartori, who has hardly seen a pitch at all to hit today. The cripple. Right through there for a strike. Logan was taking all the way. Sartori has now walked 21 times. Zane Schmidt has the team lead with 24. As a team, the Dragons have walked 147 times. Grounded up the middle off the glove to the second baseman, and that one's bobbled. Grounding third is Caesar. He's going to score from second without the ball ever leaving the infield. That's going to be a hit. That was pinballed around. Once it went off the pitcher, that became a non-normal play. So it's an infield single and an RBI for Sartori, and it's 5-0. Once it pinballed off Mason, you can't expect Damian Webster to make a routine play on that. It bounded off of him, went over to the shortstop's normal position. And the speedy Caesar scores an RBI for Sartori. He goes on the pitch, pitches high over the head of the batter, Zane Schmidt. And now the Dragons have a season-high 7 stolen bases. So it's a 3-run inning. The Dragons finally get a little distance between them and the Warriors. Lefty-lefty matchup. The pitch to Schmidt's a slider. Kept in front. Nice block by Rodriguez. Logan Sartori's career high for steals is 5. That came last year. Dragons now have 5 hits to Sterling's 4. The pitch. Low for a ball. 3-0 to Schmidt. You almost kind of feel like the Dragons have been just kind of wearing down pitchers early. Dragons have not scored a ton of runs early in this series. For game number 1, they scored in 4 of their 5 at bats. But it took a while for the Dragons to get into game 2 before getting pitch outside. It's a walk. And now Zach Baxley with the Pointer Sisters blaring away. Yesterday, Denny Steckline changed the walk up for Zach Baxley to the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. And Zach promptly on the first pitch of that at bat deposited one over the center field wall. 2 on, 2 out for the Dragons. 3 already across and Baxley. It's grounded out and walked. The pitch. A little bit outside for a ball. Ball. Mason has now walked 5 and struck out 2. He comes set, checks the runner. Sartori dancing around at second. The pitch. Strike at the letters, and it's 1-1. Pitch count nearing 80 now. And there is now action in earnest in the Sterling pen. Only 3 players on the bench today. That pitch hit Baxley, and that'll load the bases. Second hit batsman by Mason. That loads the bases. Sartori to third, Schmidt to second. Baxley now at first, and Ryan Moritz is the 9th batter of the inning. Mo has struck out twice, both swinging, both on pitches up in the zone. Moritz now with a team-high 38 strikeouts. The pitch. Over at low, ball 1. Here's the pitch. Right through there for a strike. Saw a former Blue Dragon today. Heard Steve Kappelman talking about it. And Matt Gowling, former Blue Dragon center fielder who played at Emporia State, was at the career fair at the sports arena this morning, running a booth. Pitch a little bit low, and it's 2-1. The pitch. A little bit outside. Mack was on the 2016 and 2017 Blue Dragons. One of the smoothest center fielders the Blue Dragons have ever had. Solid hitter. Just did everything Ryan Schmidt could ask for out of Bishop Carroll High School in Wichita. Strike called, and now Moritz has run the count full 3-2. Baxley at first, Schmidt at second, Sartori at third. They're going to get the head start moving on the pitch and get their leads. The runners go. The 3-2 pitch, and it's fouled back by Moritz. Will reset and do it again. Runners go again. The pitch. Low ball 4, bases loaded walk, and it's 6-0. Be an RBI for Moritz, and that'll be the end of the day for Andrew Mason. Sartori scores on the bases loaded walk, and Ryan Moritz picks up his 14th RBI of the year. We'll tell you about the new Sterling pitcher after this break. No, I stand corrected. Andrew Mason will stay in, at least for one more batter. And Max McGuire steps in with the bases loaded and 2 away. Now a 4-run fourth inning. The Dragons leading 6-0. Mason drops that slow curveball in. Dragons have batted around here in the fourth. McGuire started all this off with a ground out to third on a great defensive play by J.D. Valle. Pitch a little bit low. You don't ever want to bat around and you have 2 of the 3 outs in the inning, so that's what's on Max McGuire's shoulders in this AB. Count even at 1-1. Zane Schmidt at third, Zach Baxley at second, Ryan Moritz at first. Sun still burning through the cloud cover. The pitch way high, and it's 2-1. Players got to move into the new locker room this morning. We were pretty excited about that. That was tweeted out on the Dragon baseball page. 3-1 now to McGuire. Jay Sanderson has kept a fairly consistent but smallish zone today. Mason with the bases loaded out of the stretch, the pitch. Chased a high fastball and foul tips it into the glove of Rodriguez. Once again, 3-2, 2 out. The runners will be going on the pitch. Mason comes set. The runners are off. The pitch. Outside ball 4, and that'll force in another run. Zane Schmidt scores. For McGuire, that will be RBI number 16, and we will have a pitching change. We'll tell you about the new Sterling pitcher after this break. Side armor, Ezra Lacina makes his first appearance of the series for the Sterling Warriors. 6', 200, and according to this 290-pound senior, I think that's 190. A pitcher out of Bashan, Washington. Again, no numbers on him. He is yet to see action in this series. Comes in with 2 outs, but the base is loaded, and Connor Craig the batter. Blue Dragons this year in bases loaded situations are 13 for 39. Craig is 0 for 2 in such situations. So he'll face a side-arming right-hander. So Connor in the game thus far 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch and scored earlier this inning. This will be his second at bat. McGuire grounded out. Craig was hit by a pitch. Mason Lowe singled. Ethan White then had a sac fly to drive in Craig. RBI single by Caesar. RBI single by Sartori. Schmidt walked. Maxley was hit with the pitch. That loaded the bases, and it's been back-to-back bases loaded walks to Moritz and McGuire, and that accounts for the 5 runs here in the fourth. Dragons now leading 7-0. So there's Connor Craig. Breaking pitch over the outer half for a strike. Wind in the pitch. Pulled foul. That one had the Dragons ducking. Right over the dugout off the facing of the party deck. That's how far out in front Connor Craig was on that Lucina offering. You don't see a right-hander pull one that far very often. 0-2 the count. The pitch. Big sweeping slider outside, 1-2. Baxley at third, Moritz at second, McGuire at first. The Dragons have broken this one open, but it's been slow. Still only 5 hits in the game. Pulled foul again. That scatters the dugout. Well, Lucina wants to keep it out of the hands. If he lays one over the plate, Connor's going to crush it. They're not seeing the fastball stores they've seen throughout the conference season. Once again, the 1-2. Changeup misses outside, 2-2 now to Connor. That's the one maybe negative to playing a JV-type team this point in the season. So you're used to seeing a lot better pitching, and you kind of have to get your hands slowed down to really time these guys. The pitch way outside, and we go full again. Third straight batter to a full count with bases loaded. So as always, with 2 out, the runners will be going on the pitch. Lucina comes set. The runners go. Payoff pitch, and it's fouled back by Connor Craig, and we'll do it again. Barton won their first game over Colby. We don't have a score. Butler defeated Cloud 3-2. Garden City defeated Pratt 4-3 on a walk-off. Last check, through 3 innings at Seward or Dodge. It was 0-0. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. Craig may have chased one out of the zone. But 11 come to the plate and 5 score for Hutchinson. 5 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and the Dragons strand 3. After 4, our new score, Hutchinson 7, Sterling 0. Ethan Peterson becomes the 3rd Blue Dragon pitcher of game number 3 of this series. Dragons now leading Sterling 7-0. Peterson, a 5'10", 175-pound freshman from Omaha. He is on for the 5th time, all in relief. No record, an 8.31 earned run average. He gets Ortega, Jamarillo, and Alicea, 8, 9, and 1. First pitch to Ian Ortega is taken inside. Ortega singled his first time up, blooped a single in the infield, or actually went off the glove. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Peterson making his second appearance of the week for Hutchinson. A pitch outside. Peterson threw 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, scoreless inning, no hits allowed, and a 6-1 win on Tuesday over Redlands. Now 3-1. The last thing you want to start doing now after scoring 5 is giving free passes. 3-1 pitch. Strike on the outside corner, full count. Peterson an 8.31 ERA, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Opponents hitting 188 against. Here's the payoff. Low ball 4. So Ortega reaches for the second time. He didn't bat yesterday. He pitched. Threw in game number 1. He was hit pretty hard on the mound. Now Jeff Jamarillo, a strikeout victim his first time. Jamarillo 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in the series. Strike on the outside corner. The Sterling Varsity playing today. They're on a 10-game win streak now, 20-15. Swung through that fastball. 0-2. Starting to hear motorcycles more and more here in Cary Park. 0-2 pitch. Curveball just misses a little bit low, 1-2. Good pitch. Dragons yet to turn a double play today. They had a big one yesterday. The Dragons have now thrown 13 consecutive scoreless innings. The pitch. Foul tipped in the glove of Zach Baxley. That'll be a strikeout. Out number 1 here in the 5th. Now Alanis Alicea, he's struck out twice. Alicea now 1 for 8 in the series with 3 strikeouts. Played a nice shortstop. Dragons about hit Sterling 5-4. Breaking pitch over for a strike. It's almost kind of like the slow pace that the Warriors are taking it out of the mound. It kind of lulled the Dragon offense asleep. Pitch low for a ball, 1-1. I was talking with Ryan Schmidt after the game yesterday. We kind of went through it both games. We can only come up with just a handful of really good, solid at-bats through both games yesterday. Big breaking pitch in for a strike. Alicea was bending out of the way, and now he's down to the count 1-2. Peterson's 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. That's 2 away. 2 strikeouts now for Peterson. Jake Buns worked 2 innings, struck out 2 and allowed 1 hit. Matt Hopkins worked 2. He allowed 3 hits, no runs, struck out 2. Now Peterson has 2 strikeouts in 2/3 of an inning. Damian Webster, the batter, 1 for 2. He singled the last time up. A pitch over, but low from Peterson for ball 1. The pitch. Foul at the plate. Looking at the conference series this week again, Colby and Barton playing in a big one. You hope those 2 teams split. You really don't want Barton winning that series and getting some distance between them and the Blue Dragons, although Barton has yet to have its conference bye, nor has Butler. Those 2 teams over the next 4 weeks will have their conference bye. That pitch popped up. First base side, Baxley and Schmidt give it chase, but it's well out of play, and now it's 1-2. And Barton won its first game 3-0 on a walk-off. Butler won its first game 3-2 over Cloud at Zayn Field in Concordia. The pitch, swing and a miss. And Ethan Peterson strikes out the sign after a leadoff walk. The Warriors are stranded 5-5. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Hutchinson 7, Sterling nothing. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you. A very peaceful Thursday afternoon. Hutchinson with 2 in the first, 5 in the fourth. They lead the Sterling Warriors 7-0. Mason Lowe goes to work against Ezra Lucina. He takes it for ball 1. Lowe 2 for 2. A pair of singles and a run scored. 1 to right field, 1 to left field. So after snapping that 0 for 18 yesterday, he's got 3 hits in his last 4 ABs. Sprays that one foul off to the right into the bullpen of the Warriors, and now it's 1-1. Miguel Reyes will start game number 4, and I'm sure Ryan Schmidt will use the same 1 or 2 innings for the game 4 people. May have swung at a ball and it's pulled foul. Lucina now up in the count 1-2 on Lowe. Oh, now with 5 hits, his first multi-hit game was a Blue Dragon. He's looking more confident. The pitch hit off the end of the bat down the left field line. Long run for Jamarillo, and it drops foul. Didn't get it off the sweet spot. Unless it didn't quite have the carry, and Jamarillo has made a lot of long catches today. Couldn't get to that one. 7 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, 6 left on for Hutchinson. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 5 left on for the Warriors. 1-2 pitch is a slow slider outside, 2-2 to the Dragon shortstop. The pitch. And once hit to right field, drifting back is Medina into his right. He's got it, and there's 1 away in the Dragon's 6th. Low now, 2 for 3. That'll bring up Ethan White, who has yet to have an official time of at bat. Walked in the 2nd and had a sac fly for his 3rd RBI of the season in the 5-run 4th. Bases empty, 1 away. Lucina's pitch. High chopper along 3rd, fielded by Valle. Throw over, and it's not in time. It's a hustle single for White. Valle waited on it and really played it as well as he could. The fact that it was a high chopper and gave the speedy White an opportunity to beat it out. Another infield single for the Blue Dragons. Hit number 6 for Hutchinson, and it's back to the top of the order. That's the 3rd infield single of this game for Hutch. Now Caesar, 2 for 3. He's got 2 straight multi-hit games now. He loops this one in the left field. That drops in for a hit. White will stop at second. That is Jeremiah Caesar's first 3-hit game of the year. So now Logan Sartori. Not to put the hex on him, but Logan hasn't gone deep since March 22nd. That here against Dodge City. That is a streak of 9 games now. Ball one to Sartori. Logan has walked twice and had an RBI single and 2 runs scored. He's also stolen 4. Dragons with a team-high 7 steals in this one. Alcina comes set the pitches. Hits one high and deep to left, but it's playable. Actually got it off the end of the bat. All right, it's gone. It did go. I got deked by the left fielder, and that's the ball game. Holy. Well, that was rude by Jamarillo. He totally deked me out. So snap the home run skid for Logan Sartori, a 3-run bomb, and the Dragons win at 10-0. Sorry about that, folks. We all got faked out here in the press box. Jamarillo acted like he caught the ball, and I swear I saw it drop into his glove, but my eyes are getting bad. Dragons win this one 10-0 in 5. We'll wrap it up right after this. Blue Dragons get their second mercy rule of the series with a 10-0 win in 5 innings. Logan Sartori hits a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 5th to end it. Now that coming with 2 outs. So the Dragons now a season-high 10 games over 500 at 23-13. Totals for this one. For the Blue Dragons, 10 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 6 left on. For Sterling, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 5 left on. The winning pitcher, Jake Buns, he'll improve to 6-1. Andrew Mason takes the loss. Time of ball game, 1 hour and 39 minutes. So the Dragons get the win, and they throw their second consecutive shutout in this one. Logan Sartori getting his 7th home run of the year. He also had 4 RBIs, which I believe for him is the second most. Excuse me, he's had 2 other 4 RBI games. So he leads the way offensively. Couple of hits for Mason Lowe. He snapped out of his season-long slumber in this series. But the Dragons still really haven't just tattooed the ball and taken the Sterling pitching staff completely out of their comfort zone. Pitching-wise, though, it's another shutout. And is now 14 consecutive scoreless innings pitched by the Blue Dragons. Jake Buns goes 2. He strikes out 2 with 1 hit. Matt Hopkins goes 2. He allows 3 hits and strikes out 2. And then Ethan Peterson goes 1 inning, allows 1 walk, but strikes out 3. So the Dragons get the victory, 10-0. We'll be back in about 25 minutes with the final game. You will have to switch links, and you can find that on the BlueDragonSports.com media schedule page. Again, we'll have that for you in about 25 minutes. Until then, Steve Carpenter from Hobart-Detter Field reminding you the final score. Hutchinson 10, Sterling 0. We'll see you in about 25 minutes. Until then, so long, everybody.